Basically, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans, and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of David Fun.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. Okay, so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. If you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. No need to announce yourself on your way out. Just leave. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._Ashakur, TikTok at Dr. Ashakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Miss Hotel said often imitated but never duplicated. All right. Hello, Rafael. All right, Pearlie is here. Pennywise, Capricornus is in the house. Donna is here. Regina, Juju. All right, Kenyatta. Let's get into it. Everyone get those likes up. Y'all know how they do the Queen so dirty. Latasha is here. Claudette, Hundia. All right, shout out to my moderators putting in work. We the people. Chris B in the house. Bronze Flat Power God. Group Home Goddess. Eileen. Emperor Rex is here. Baby boy, where have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. Okay, so let's get into it. Christy One Love is here. Kajima or Kajima. All right, so everyone get the likes of hey Eileen. All right, Support the Arts is here. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. With that all being said, let me just remind you guys again, those of you who have the higher frequency membership on the spiritual channel, if you did not see the masterclass, I sent you the link via email. If you didn't receive it, please reach out and let me know so that I can send you that link. All right. Okay, so let's talk about it. Hey, Pearlie. First things first, it's all nefarious. It is all nefarious, beloveds. Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, first off, this man was found guilty for gunning down his girlfriend at Home Depot. Now, this is the update on the story because he thought that she had given him an STD. Come to find out, she didn't even give it to him. She didn't even give it to him. So where'd he get it? But he took this woman's life. So let's talk about it. Everyone, please get those likes up. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see it. 144 people in the chat. Okay, let's get the likes to match the number of people in the chat, beloveds. Thank you in advance.
Girlfriend inside a Pensacola Home Depot.
A jury convicted him today after he admitted on the stand to killing her, claiming she gave him an STD. Something we learned in court today was not true. WKRG News 5's Cody Long reports from Pensacola.
A jury convicted Keith Agee Wednesday after deliberating for about 3 hours.
Guilty of first-degree murder as charged.
Agee told the judge he regrets killing Brooklyn Sims, the mother of their 2-year-old daughter, and he apologized to her family. In August, Agee found out he had an STD. He testified during his trial about it.
I've never been so mad in my life.
He drove from Calvert, Alabama, to the Home Depot on Davis Highway in Pensacola, where Sims was working. He shot and killed her on aisle 52.
This is not about an STD. This is about his pride. The STD is curable. Brooklyn Sims' murder is not. 29 holes he riddled into her body. Didn't cure his STD, but it cured his pride.
But we learned after the verdict, Sims didn't have an STD. Prosecutors gave the judge evidence that showed she tested negative days before the shooting.
And I know in the grand scheme of things it doesn't matter, but we just wanted to give Miss Sims a little bit of dignity.
Agee was sentenced to life in prison. His mother, Sheila Agee, who worked with Sims at Home Depot, is also charged with premeditated murder, accused of helping her son plan the shooting. She'll be back in court in February. In Pensacola, Cody Long, WKRG News 5.
What kind of nefariousness is this? And his mother was in on the planning of it. Now, I'm going to need someone to please make it all make sense. Now he's sitting there going to spend the rest of his life in prison all over something that he thought was the case that wasn't. So you know what that means? You know what that means, right? He took this woman's life for something he himself did. Because if she didn't have the STD, then that means he got it from somewhere else. So that means he was lying and cheating. Low down, dirty devil. Isn't that how they do you? Isn't that how these low down, nefarious men do you, ladies? Let's go in on them. Let's start bashing them like Cynthia G does. This is all crazy. All hell no said demons. Absolutely. Honey 69 said facts, Queen. Samantha said yes. Y'all all need to sit down because the Queen was just playing. Don't let me get y'all in trouble on Christmas Eve, honey. Y'all's boyfriends leave y'all husbands mad, staying at the hotel and all that. Latasha said bandits. Miss Hotel said rotten dogs. Hold up. Raphael said Diddy gave it to him, allegedly. Y'all are terrible. All right, so let me quit playing. Don't y'all start going in on the men royals, honey. Don't y'all start going in on the males. All right, so with that all being said, that's really a sad story at the end of the day. Also nefarious. He took this woman's life, and like the prosecutor said, of course it could have been cured. That's just that's idiosyncrasy, okay? Idiosyncrasies for him to do that. But anyway, I digress. So let's get into the next story. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now this fool's gonna be in there for the rest of his life talking about he's never been so mad. I tell you what, I want y'all to pay attention. He's talking about he's never been so mad in his life. He's gonna be even more angry when he gets to prison and he runs up on somebody like Felice Johnson. Okay, Felice Johnson. I was reading a story about 2 months ago about life in prison and how it was all so sad. There was a 16-year-old who was sent there. They tried him as an adult, sent to prison. And one of the prison nurse said he had the worst case of an STD that you ever heard of. It was all in his mouth, all over his body. It was just awful, all on his face, everything, because he had been, assaulted by numerous men. And when she asked him how many of them did it, he said he lost counts at 19. I kid you not. That is so sad and so vile. And I do believe that he died. He ended up dying when they got him to the hospital. This is all so sad. I feel bad for any teenager. Now, he didn't do anything. Well, he did do a crime, of course, a felony, but he didn't take anyone's life. So I just thought that was so sad that happened to him and very unfortunate. Mommy too says she remembers hearing that. Yes, it was horrific. So that's what he needs to be concerned about now. You want to sit up and take people's lives about STDs that you yourself went out and contracted? Please make it all make sense. He's going to have a whole lot more to worry himself about while he's sitting in prison for life. Okay? I guess now he'll be in there fighting over his boyfriend. Pay attention. Okay, so now let's talk about this Uber drivers. The Uber drivers are upset about pay. Uber and Lyft drivers, honey, they had an hours-long protest at the Atlanta airport. That's what they did. They had an hours-long protest at the Atlanta airport. Now, rideshare drivers for Uber and Lyft held a protest at the Atlanta airport on Saturday, disturbing travel. They were disturbing travel on one of the busiest holiday travel periods to demand better pay. Now, you know they did this all on purpose. The drivers shut off their apps at 4 p.m. and remained parked for several hours at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport to disrupt holiday travel. I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to show you all the footage, but I'll tell you one thing. They better be so glad that the Queen didn't have anywhere to travel to. They better be glad I wasn't trying to get anywhere, okay? And Nessa G said Atlanta Airport is already a mess. You know it is. It absolutely is. Okay, they better be glad I didn't have anywhere to go, honey, or y'all would have seen me on the news with them. Raising the holy hell, pay attention. Now I'm about to share this video. Y'all know I would have been going in, honey. Pay attention. Here we go.
It's W-2 and 1099 season for businesses, and your employees and contract.
Also happening right now, rideshare drivers are protesting at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport here. This comes during one of, if not the busiest time for travel of the year. Fox 5's Eric Mock is at the airport for us tonight. Eric, how does this really impact really thousands of people who are flying in.
Absolutely, Eric. Just look at all the people who've now gathered here right now, all these drivers. And, you know, the group has really grown out here with the Uber and Lyft drivers. And all of them have shut their apps off, and they're all waiting here. They've shut them off during what they say is one of the busiest times, like you mentioned. You know, hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come to the airport, and they've shut them off to try to send a message that they want better pay, that they want a better split of the fares. And they're, you know, you can see it's really loud out here because there's so many drivers that have gathered here. You know, earlier today, there was maybe a couple dozen. Now it seems to be around 100 drivers, if not more, that have all shut their apps off and are standing here in solidarity trying to get the rideshare companies to notice them by boycotting, you know, right now for a couple hours, you know, boycotting taking any people from the airport and picking them up. Now, we've spoken to some drivers. You hear them chanting now 80-20. That's the kind of split of the fare they want to see. But, you know, the airport is expecting hundreds of thousands of travelers, and they're saying in some cases they get less than 50%, even less than 30% of the fare. I spoke with Lyft driver Deborah Williams, and she gave one recent example from her driving.
I did a ride the other day. She said she paid $102 for a 40-minute ride. I got $25, and that's because I had a $5 bonus. So I would have got 20, and it's just ridiculous.
Now, we have reached out to both Uber and Lyft to ask about the breakdown of how they pay drivers at the airport, and we're waiting to hear back from them. But as you can see, they started this shutdown at 4 p.m., but now it looks like it's still going strong. A lot more people, you hear them say now, leave them stranded. They're saying they're not going to pick people up right now, so they might extend this shutdown. At first, they said they were just going to go from 4 to 6 p.m. and just shut down their apps in those 2 hours. Now they're saying they could go longer to bring the hurt at the airport and make these companies notice and take notice of them. But we'll continue to follow up on this story and bring you more.
They all need to sit down somewhere. Now, where were the white Lyft drivers? Because all of them look like they were my skin tone. And I can't even take them seriously, how they out there laughing like they're just having a good old time. Please sit down somewhere, people. At the end of the day, Timber Dan told them to get a job. That is their job, beloved. Sit down somewhere. That is their job. Okay? Tawana said, pure American greed. So you mean to tell me somebody paid $102 for the ride and the lady only got $25? Let me tell you what y'all should do. Anybody that's a Lyft driver and Uber driver, listen up. Here's what you need to do. You need to drive by yourself and for yourself. Just go around and start picking up people on your own dime, giving people rides. People have been doing that for years. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Honey, some people have been having this as a whole hustle for years. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. No, but seriously, I know this guy from years ago. He had a van, okay? He had a 6-passenger van, I think it was, and he would charge people $35 to take them to the airport. How do I know? Oh, because my son called him to go to the airport because I had to work. So I'm just saying, people have, honey, do your own thing. All right? Go riding around looking for rides. Go looking for people who need rides. I'm just saying. Honey 69 said you was thinking the same thing. See, exactly. Honey, you got to do what you have to do. All right? You have to do what you have to do. Miss Hotel said, I mean, what about DoorDash robbing us blind too? Honey, I don't order from DoorDash because every time I have them got my order completely wrong at least 3 times. Okay? And I said, you know what? I'll bet you that because I've complained three times in a row, that they're probably thinking I'm grifting them trying to get credits. But no, they really messed my order up 3 times. So I don't even order a DoorDash. I think I missed me with it. All right? They gonna miss me with it. But now let's talk about the scandal on Capitol Hill. Now this is nefarious. Did y'all hear about it? They up there on Capitol Hill having SEX. Where were the Capitol Police? I have several questions. Where were the Capitol Police? Okay, this is all so nefarious. Did y'all hear about this? It's in the Senate room. Yes, Dan. I mean, in there getting their freak on, honey. This is all so crazy. And this is who is in charge. These are the type of people that are at the wheel. Let me go to the footage. Now, I'm not going to show that clip. I saw the tape. Someone posted it on Instagram. It was two dudes, Brad and Chad, doing what they do. All nefarious as far as I'm concerned. Pay attention. Here it is. Likes up, everyone. Please get those likes up.
Security concerns raised on Capitol Hill after an aide to Maryland Senator Ben Cardin was allegedly one of two people seen in a sex video recorded in a Senate hearing room. That aide now without a job, but people asking, how could this happen? Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald pushing for those answers tonight. Fitz, are you getting any response?
This is a weird one. Look, when news broke on Friday that a Senate staffer allegedly was one of two men that were seen in an online sex video that was filmed inside the Hart Senate's office building, as you can imagine, raised a lot of eyebrows, but now it is raising a lot of questions about where Capitol Police were when this was going on. Now, this video was recorded, we're told, last week inside Hart Room 216. Now, that is one of the most prominent hearing rooms on Capitol Hill. It's a place you've no doubt seen on television before. It's been used for U.S. Supreme Court confirmation hearings. It's used for Senate intelligence hearings as well. People at the Capitol today told Fox 5 they want to know where security was and how this was allowed to go on.
I wouldn't think anything like that would happen in the Capitol building. No, it shouldn't happen.
Especially as taxpayers, we would think that the Capitol is protected above all else. And if it's not, then it makes us wonder, what about the rest of us and what are our expectations?
Absolutely. I mean, my daughter works there and I want her to be safe. And we should be protecting our government employees.
It's one of those stories a lot of people are talking about on the Hill, but nobody's talking on the record. In fact, U.S. Capitol Police and the offices of Maryland Senator Ben Cardin both declined interviews with Fox 5 about this story today. U.S. Capitol Police citing an ongoing investigation. But Jeff James, a retired U.S. Secret Service agent, tells Fox 5 he finds this incident alarming, not only for the allegations of what took place in the hearing one, but for the glaring lapses in security that allowed it to happen in the first place.
There are items that are classified, and the general public just shouldn't have access to that. And frankly, if we got away from the idea of saying, everybody should be able to do X, Y, and Z, it's their right, I think we would be better off for sure.
U.S. Capitol Police would also not comment today on whether or not they have their own security video of this incident while it was underway. And certainly this is only the latest security incident that has some people on the Hill now calling for a review of security procedures up here at the Capitol. We're live tonight. We'll send it back into you.
All right, Fitz, thanks.
Oh, nefarious. Oh. Let me see what Dan's talking about. Dan said, I'm sorry, but why the fake outrage? The government has been screwing the U.S. citizens for decades, and yet they're concerned about two folks getting their rocks. Dan, I cannot with you today. I absolutely cannot. So here's the thing. I mean, I find it all so interesting that this was allowed to go on and that they even had the nerve and the gall to do something like that. Now, Eileen said, get a room. Oh, beloved, they did in the Capitol, no less. All right. This is what they did. This is all crazy. I absolutely cannot. Okay, so in other news, let's talk about Joe Exotic. How many of you all know who Joe Exotic is? Put ones in the chat, please, if you know who Joe Exotic is. Not the Soggy Bottom Boys, Raphael. You need to have several seats, beloved. Who knows who Joe Exotic is? Let me tell y'all what he has done. First of all, for those of you who don't know him, well, he went to prison. Okay, he was convicted in 2019 and sentenced to 22 years in prison on 17 federal charges of animal abuse and 2 counts of attempted murder for hire. He tried to get his rival, taken out. Okay, he was also convicted of wildlife violations that were tied to the killing of 5 tigers and selling tiger cubs and falsifying records. So he's clearly nefarious. All right, so if you didn't know, there was a whole documentary about him, and I loved it. It was really good as far as I was concerned, because I never heard of this man before that documentary, and I said that he is frankly nefarious. Let me show his picture on the screen for those of you who don't know who he is. But I have to tell you all what he has done. That's him right there with the mullet cut, honey. I haven't seen one of those since 92. And I'm very serious. Since 1992 is the last time I saw anyone with a mullet haircut. So anyway, Abria said he's wild. Oh, he is. But let me tell you all what he did. So he wanted Joe Biden, you know, before he was asking for Biden to pardon him. I think it was a couple of years ago. But anyway, now he has sent a letter. Let me just show you all this foolishness on the screen. This man sat here and wrote a letter to Biden. And it looks like he wrote it in pencil. Now, you all know Biden don't have time for this. I know Biden doesn't do much, but he still doesn't have time for this foolishness. Pay attention. Okay, there's the letter right there. Let me read it to you all. It says, President Biden, and it's dated December the 10th of 2023. As I sit here in the hole in an American prison for nothing, an inmate took a photo of me with a cell phone bought in by one of your guards for $3,000 each. I can't help but wonder what kind of man lies to the American people to just get a job. I guess that would be you, sir. You promised justice and prison reform, and you have done nothing in your 4 years to help anyone in this shite hole that you call prisons. America treats dogs in a shelter better than America cares about people that fixes nothing, or this fixes nothing. My pardon has laid on your desk for 3 years, and the criminal witnesses the government used have all admitted to perjury, fabricating evidence, and even my so-called victim has posted phone recordings of the hitman admitting it was all made up. Just what does it take in this country to get you to care about someone being innocent? All I want is to go home to Jose and put this behind me. My parents have died. I've lost everything. Wish you cared as much about us here at home as you do in the Middle East. 6 years of my life I've lost. Please let me have it back. Merry Christmas. Joe Maldonado. Sir. Then it says this is the number to call to leave messages at the White House. It's the direct line to Joe Biden. Well, thank you for that, because I'll be calling him, see how he's doing. And if he's going to take that room that I've booked for him at Shady Pines, I did that back in 2020. I already paid it up for a whole year. And I told you I have him a nice view at a window so he can sit there and look at the grass grow. This man is crazy. Now, he talked all that trash, then had the nerve to tell Sleepy Joe, Merry Christmas. Not Merry Christmas, but anyway, he has the wrong attitude. Okay, clearly. He has the wrong attitude, honey. That's not going to get him anywhere. But let me continue. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. So let's talk about Bishop T.D. Jakes. Bishop T.D. Jakes is tired of all the online gossip and rumors. I told you all yesterday that his camp unequivocally denied all the allegations against him and said it's not true. And so now, today, he spoke out to his congregation and basically said he wasn't going to address it while he was addressing it. Please pay attention. And they're blaming all this on Tough News TV. Remember, I showed you all the news clip yesterday when they were mentioning Tough News TV, honey. Yep. But so anyway, let me just pull this up. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on. Is this it?
True studio story.
That's yeah. Hold on.
Some of you logged in or come in out of concern. Some of you come in to hear what I'm going to say. All of you who expect me to address a lie, you can log off. I will not use this sacred day and this sacred pulpit to address a lie when I have a chance to preach a truth. I will stand straight up, head up, back straight, and preach the unadulterated, infallible word of God. Because that is what the pulpit is for. But there will be a time.
According to multiple churches.
All right, so y'all heard that. He said there will be a time. So let me tell you all what I think. Now, he says the allegations are false, and maybe they are. At the end of the day, because we know gossip, honey, you know, you can only take it with a grain of salt. So all these allegations, Najee said he sounds congested from crying. Okay, Sharon said nothing sacred about that pulpit. Re-educated Soul said Mr. Snakes 169 said he's nervous. Danny Joe said he said Wig did it. Y'all just need to leave Wig alone. Okay, Wig 1 and Wig 2. Now here's the thing. You said his daughter is hot. Okay, I've never seen her. All right. Regina said he's a great showman. Here's the thing. What I will say is this. I don't know anything about those allegations being true or false. I would hope that they're false, unequivocally, as he says. But here is the thing. You know, you would have to ask oneself, at least I asked myself, why, oh, why would Bishop T.D. Jakes or any other pastor worth their salt be hanging out with Diddy anywhere? Because just like we have heard the allegations about Diddy and the rumors and all of that and the nefariousness allegedly and all of that for years, you mean tell me he hasn't heard these things? He's right up close and personal with Diddy. So I have questions, not as to whether or not he did those things, but I have questions as to his character, his choice of people to be around. You see, when you are someone who's supposed to be a man or a woman of God, I would think that there are certain people that you don't engage with on a regular basis, that you don't hang out with and commingle with. That's just what I would think. I'm just saying. Now, I know Diddy's money, has money and all of that, but that should not be the deciding factor as to whether or not you hang out with someone. Because money without integrity, dignity, moral compass, and all of that, well, it's not worth much as far as I'm concerned. And if you're a pastor, that's something that you should be thinking about, Mr. Jakes. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, I wouldn't hang out with Diddy if he was buy one, get one free. Okay? That's what I wouldn't do. Etheline said, didn't Jesus hang with the I don't know what that's supposed to be, and then the prostitutes? Well, here's the thing. Yes, they did say that in the Bible. I mean, Mary Magdalene was supposed to be a prostitute. Okay? But at the end of the day, that's different. You see, Jesus wasn't hanging out with them having parties. Jesus wasn't hanging out with them having a good old time. Jesus, according to the stories in the Bible, y'all already know what I think about most of the stories being allegorical. Please pay attention. But if we go by the story in the Bible, well, Jesus was hanging out to save souls and bring people to salvation and to his Father, the Most High. So that is totally different, honey. You can't even compare that to what he was doing, hanging out, whether you had a party, just having a drink, or just dancing and laughing. No, we saw the video footage yesterday. I showed it to you. When he had that man up there dancing to Put a Ring on It by Beyonce. I'm sorry. That wasn't in church. That was on his show. But nonetheless, I'm just saying certain things you just don't engage in as far as I'm concerned. You're supposed to be so holy and all of that. Kenyatta said he was ministering to them. Yes, exactly. That's what Jesus was doing according to the Bible. He was ministering to them. That's a whole difference. Don't try to make it all make sense when it can't. All right. Baby boy said Jesus was building a church. Okay. And so anyway, Kajima said, LOL, y'all think Jesus threw the last turn up with Ciroc? Right. Okay. I mean, Jesus did turn water into wine now. Let's not forget. So he was. No, I'm just joking. But really, it's a whole different thing. Danny Joe said, amen, Queen. Thank you, beloved. All right. So with that all being said, you must really be infatuated with T.D. Jakes' daughter, because now you putting in the chat Sarah Jakes. I didn't even know that was her name. But All Hell No said TD Cakes was laying hands. Timber Dan said he was engaged in a different kind of ministry, allegedly. This is all crazy. Miss Hotel said, thou shalt not clap these cakes, is what he was saying to them. All of y'all are so nefarious, but let me continue. So now let's talk about Christian Keys and this lawsuit that I was speaking to you all about previously. Let's talk about it. And so basically, what they have been saying, beloveds, is that, you know, the man I was telling you all about. Hold on. Let me pull up that receipt. Now, the man that I was telling you all about, Larry Lamont Ledford. I read you all the information yesterday. I told you that to me, it doesn't sound like Christian copied his works. It doesn't sound like it to me because for the simple fact, Christian wrote his story prior. Because when I went back to look into it some more, because remember yesterday I told you all I wanted to know when the man wrote this. When I went back, he sent it to the attorney, Dana West, or whatever her name is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he sent it to her in 2020. So if his book was in 2020 and it hasn't been published yet, obviously, because I couldn't find it yesterday. That's why I couldn't find it. When I was sitting there talking to you guys, I was looking for it on Amazon and other places, and I could not find it. So I'm inclined to think that it hasn't been published. Another thing that I saw, and this is what I want y'all to pay attention to. So he filed his case 3 times. The first 2 times it was thrown out, and the third time he filed it was on November the 30th. So here was my thing. I was like, why was he filing it so many times when they already have thrown it out? But you know what? You know what it is? Here's the thing. I figured it out. When I read through the documentation, I saw that he had filed it former papyrus. Okay, remember when I told you all about Wig 1 when I was exposing Wig, and I told you all how they took that woman's $130,000 check, and this ain't allegedly, it's in the court documents, when they took that woman's $130,000 check when they was engaging in the wire fraud, the mortgage fraud, and the bank fraud. Remember that? And I said the poor woman had lost everything. Okay, and Archbishop Josita C. Williams. And she had to file it in the manner of papyrus, okay, which is known as former papyrus, which means that basically without incurring cost of the suit, okay, because that's what you do when you're like a poor person, when you don't have money, So here's what I think is going on. This man filed it former papyrus, so he clearly is filing this by himself. He likely has no attorney, and so he's filing this documentation for the suit by himself. The first 2 times, maybe he didn't have all of his ducks in a row. He didn't perfect the paperwork. Okay? He didn't perfect the paperwork. And so therefore, he's filing it a third. He filed it a third time because he's trying to get everything right so that it won't get thrown out and dismissed the next time. That's what it likely is. Okay? That's what I think it is. I was sitting there pondering on it. I said, now, they've already thrown it out twice. And then I saw that he filed it former papyrus. The man doesn't have the money like that. Okay, so he's filing this stuff on his own. All right. He's filing it on his own. So that all being said. That's why, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Let's talk about it. Because if you remember when I said, why would Christian be saying anything about Tyler Perry when we were saying that, you know, maybe it's Tyler Perry, we don't know. But I said, why would Christian be saying anything about Tyler Perry when they work together on that show? And they both have a lawsuit against them. I said, why would they be going against each other? But you know, at the end of the day, if you have a lawsuit against you, you don't have to necessarily be on the same team, for one. And for two, at the end of the day, here's the thing. Christian supposedly licensed, according to my receipts, licensed his show to Tyler Perry. Licensed it to him. So with that all being said, hold on. Christian conducted an interview on or around November the 14th of 2023 based on his mention of rapping 2 shows for his music career in Atlanta. This interview occurred 1 month and 1 day before his Instagram live video and 2 days before Cassie Ventura's bombshell. Now settled lawsuit against her bombshell. Now settled lawsuit against Diddy Combs. Now, so of note, in his December 15th Instagram live, Christian credits Cassie lawsuit for opening the door, this and the third. Okay, we know all that. But here's the thing. So apparently it's a contractual dispute, allegedly, because Christian licensed his show to Tyler Perry. Didn't sell it to him, but licensed it to him. And now word on the street, and again, this is allegedly that Tyler may want the show because this person has filed this lawsuit. So if this person, which they have filed the lawsuit for the third time, well, and they're saying copyright infringements, well, if it is true that there is found to be copyright infringement, which so far it hasn't been proven, they have kicked it out, terminated it, but now this third time, if it is found to have copyright infringement, then that could make the contract for the licensing agreement null and void. Okay? That could make it null and void. So at the end of the day, it's like warring on both sides with Larry Lamont Ledford and with Tyler Perry. Now, again, Black and Silver said, you said it first, Queen. Now, I told y'all, thank you, beloved. I told you all, at the end of the day, this is all nefarious, okay? This is all crazy. Now, is that why he came out and said what he said? I don't know, but I have questions. And if so, at the end of the day, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. That doesn't mean that his allegations about whomever he was speaking of, and I think we all pretty much know by now that it's Tyler Perry, because Christian came out the other day and said that we've been saying the person's names in the comments, and then when somebody said he cleared Tyler Perry's name when that person comment, where he liked that person's comment about Tyler Perry, he said he didn't clear anybody's name. And you know, here's the thing to think about too. Remember on the live when we watched it, somebody asked if the female he was talking about was Cheryl Pepsi Riley. And he said, no, absolutely not. He said, please don't do that. She's a very sweet person. So he cleared her name right then and there. So if it wasn't Tyler Perry, he'd have cleared Tyler Perry's name too, specifically and especially if he has a working relationship with this person. So I'm just telling you all, it's all nefarious. Miss Hotel said the drama of it all, this is crazy. Yes, I tell you what, it is crazy. Because if Tyler Perry is trying to take that man's show, and I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying if he is trying to take that man's show, I would be very upset if I were Christian. Because that absolutely came from Christian's book, Ladies' Nights. And Larry Lamont Ledford, I'll say this about him. He may think that there's a similarity, but here's what I want y'all to pay attention to, because I told you all this yesterday, that the book was initially, the story in the book was initially set in California. But when the show All the Queen's Men came out, then it was in Atlanta. So he's trying to imply that Christian got that from him, and that the fact that the female security is it's taken from him because it wasn't so in the book. Well, here's the thing. And here's another thing I forgot to tell you all. Larry Lamont Ledford supposedly sent his book, his manuscript to that attorney, Dana West, I think is her name. And so he's accusing her, because she's listed in the lawsuit as well. He's accusing her of taking his book and sending it to, I believe, Tyler Perry. I think that's who, if I remember correctly, that he's accusing her. Let me pull up the receipt. That he's accusing her of having sent it to Tyler Perry. And then saying pretty much that's how they got the changes in the story that Christian initially came up with. But here's the thing. Tyler Perry Studios is in Atlanta. Most of Tyler Perry's shows are filmed in Atlanta. If not all of them. I mean, all of them are likely filmed here, except for the Oval. Now, the Oval is supposed to be set in Washington because it's about the president. And they might even film that here. I don't know. But here's the thing. Most of Tyler's shows are filmed here in Atlanta. So if Tyler is helping to produce a show, it would be likely that he would film it here in Atlanta. So maybe that's why they changed it from California to Atlanta. That just makes sense to me. But another thing I'll say is this. He says that in the book, Ladies' Night, there was no female security. That was the head of security. But in his book, there is. Well, here's the thing. If he wants to say Christian copied that from him, like I told you guys yesterday, Christian's book was written in 2014. I think it came out in 2015. This guy supposedly sent his book to the attorney in 2020, which would then mean that Christian's book came out first. So how can he say that Christian copied him? How do we know that he didn't copy Christian? Because it's two books about strip clubs and both owned by women. So did he get the idea to make his strip club be owned by a woman from Christian? I have several questions. Sit down somewhere, Mr. Ledford. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Alice Child said, that man is so attractive. Leave him alone, haters. I know that's right. That's what they all need to do. And he looks even more attractive in person, but I digress. So with that all being said, honey, there's a picture of me and him on my Instagram, if you all haven't seen it, honey, from a few years ago. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, like I said, you know, people sometimes when they're coming up with stories, they may have similarities. And then when you write a book, when you make it into a script, you are likely to change things. You have to, because a book is never going to be, you're not going to be able to put everything in the book on screen. Like The Color Purple, okay? The Color Purple is a 2.5-hour movie, I believe. The book is hundreds of pages long. So you have to do different things. And also, oh, hell no, I said also egregious. And so at the end of the day, there's another show that's out right now where they have T.S. Madison as the owner of a strip club. I think it's that show, Hush. Yeah, that's it. So I'm just saying, people may come up with the same ideas. Okay? That's not enough. It's not enough similarities for me to say that it was there was copyright infringement. And you all know I do not like people plagiarizing people's works. If anything I hate is somebody who plagiarizes and takes the credits for somebody else's work. I can't stand that. And y'all know I can't, honey. Okay? Speaking of books, honey, my books will be out as soon as I get them edited. All right? Y'all saw me get the information from Gavin. Danny Joe says, so nefarious, right, Queen? Yes. Okay? So with that all being said, let's move on. So, Lord, let's talk about Lil Uzi. Don't ask me why. I just thought some of y'all might want to hear it because I do not care nothing about Lil Uzi. He is clearly nefarious. Now, he says that he's looking to change his career. He's going to stop rapping. Okay? He said he's going to stop rapping, and this was reported by TMZ. Now, first of all, he said the same thing in 2019 that he was quitting music. I don't know if you all remember that or no. I'm quitting rap to make women's clothes. Child, I don't know who's going to wear these clothes, but it won't be the queen. Lil Uzi Vert. And I want y'all to pay attention to his name because I know I told you all this before. He's very satanic to me. He looks it, and some of his shows that I've seen footage of just look satanic in my opinion. And his name is Lil Uzi Vert. Sounds like Lucifer. Okay, you think that's coincidence? Lil Uzi Vert? No, sounds like Lucifer. Just like that movie years ago with what's that man's name? Was it Randy Quaid or the other Quaid brother? No, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke and the girl from the Cosby Show, Lisa Bonet. That movie, Angel Heart. Remember Robert De Niro's character in that movie? That's an old movie, honey. Robert De Niro's character was Louis Cypher, and he was clearly Lucifer. I just want y'all to pay attention to the play on words. But anyway, I'm sure y'all know that by now. So goes on to say, he's done feeling the pressure of making albums and feels a life of creating women's clothes is his new calling. Those were Uzi's sentiments when we talked to him at Terminal 27 this week, just a few months from the last time we spoke to him. Now, perhaps it was the LA rain, but Uzi sounded pretty somber, confirming to us that Love is Rage 3 was his final album. Uzi says he still loves making music, but has lost his love for the craft. It makes sense. If you recall, it took tooth and painted nails to get his latest album off the ground. He tells us construction for his clothing company's home office is already started, but it doesn't sound like his girlfriend JT will be involved in the creative direction. Uzi says that she has her own fashion brand to promote. If Uzi's really calling it quits, it'll be at the top of his game. He was part of the two colorful #1 albums this year, his own Pink Tape and Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2. And he won't fully retire until they deliver a video for their Everybody collab. Their Everybody, that's the name of the song. Now, all Nicki's songs sound golden to Uzi's ears. Maybe she's the one who will help to convince him to keep going. Honey, please let him stop. Please let him stop. Why would we not? All right? Let me stop talking about that man's music because I don't even know his music, to be honest with you. I just know he looks demonic. Okay? Now, like I said, he said the same thing in 2019, September the 18th. There was an article published. Lil Uzi Vert explains why he quit music in rare interview. Lil Uzi Vert says he enjoys making music, but it's really just a means to make his family happy. Philadelphia recording artist Lil Uzi Vert is an interesting character. He is unlike anybody else in the rap game. Yeah, I'll say, other than Lil Nas X. They're both remind me of demons, but let me continue. His personality is eccentric, and he rarely opens up in public, leaving an air of mystery about him. Now, y'all remember when, speaking of Lil Uzi Vert, do you all remember when I reported that story? When that fool went and got the pink diamond embedded in his forehead? Do you all remember that? When he went and got that, I forgot how many carats it was, but that pink diamond embedded in his forehead. Now, I knew that wasn't going to last long. I told you all, I said, he's not going to keep that thing in his forehead. Somebody will cut his whole head off for that diamond. That thing cost millions of dollars. Do you all remember that? That was all so crazy. And plus, I told you all that he messed up his third eye. Why would you even do it? All nefarious. But let me continue. I mean, it's just a hot mess. Philadelphia recording artist. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to where I was. Okay, so for the last couple of years, Uzi's music releases have dramatically slowed down. And with so many issues at his label, his decision to quit music made sense. The young artist was frustrated and figured that he could no longer fulfill his prophecy, choosing to find a new path. We're all still waiting for Eternal Take. And given the fact that he's released a duo of new singles this year, it may still be on the way. Rarely does Uzi ever run press. This week, though, an interview has been published by GQ. So anyway, he did an interview or whatever. And that's when I'm not going to get into all the interview. He said he likes making music, but he does it to make his family happy. So more power to him. More power to him. And speaking of music, no, I'm going to save Sexy Red because I'm about to go in on Sexy Red. But hold on before I do. Let's talk about the jury found those Tacoma officers not guilty in the death of Manny Ellis. Manny Ellis. You all remember I reported that story. You heard it here first. Hold on. Oops, wrong one. You all remember this. So here's what they say. Jury finds 3 Tacoma police officers not guilty in death of Manny Ellis. I'm not surprised. And so they found 3 Washington police officers not guilty Thursday in the March 2020 in custody demise of Manuel Manny Ellis in Tacoma after a historic months-long trial and 3 days of jury deliberations. Partners Matthew Collins and Christopher Burbank were acquitted of second-degree manslaughter for fighting Ellis into hog-tie restraints using elbows, a neck hold, and taser shots. Officer Timothy Rankin was acquitted of manslaughter for pressing down on Ellis's back while restrained face down for several minutes and pleading that he couldn't breathe. Collins, Burbank, and Ellis said that a 33-year-old black man threatened them before attacking their patrol car and resisting arrest with extreme strength. Their attorney said that Ellis overdosed on meth. Prosecutors argued that the patrol partners lied about Ellis attacking them to justify their actions and that the officers' restraint suffocated him. The officers await a decision about their employment from the police chief, Avery Moore, who joined the department in January of 2022. Internal investigations of the officers have been on hold during their criminal proceedings. Collins no longer lives in the state, and Burbank's attorney said he is unlikely to rejoin the department. Now, Rankin's attorney his attorneys did not respond to questions. Moore's decision on whether the officers violated policy is expected within 2 weeks, and I will be listening because I want to know what's going on with this. Now, one of them's left the state, so Collins and Rankin took the stand during the closing days of the trial, admitting to prosecutors that they spoke to Ellis after he repeatedly said that he couldn't breathe under the weight of the officers. They also told the jury that Ellis was out of control and had to be restrained for his own safety. So you're going to take him up out of here? How's that for his own safety? I just want you all to pay attention. If you restrain someone to the point of deadly force, to the one that it is fatal and they lose their life, how were you trying to restrain them so that they would hurt themselves? This sounds as nonsensical and idiotic and insidiously obtuse as when Isaiah Brown, do you all remember the story of Isaiah Brown, the gay man who caught a ride with the cop, who took him to his home, dropped him off, and then about 10, 15 minutes later, Isaiah got into it with his brother, called the police, and the same cop returned. And when Isaiah walked outside with the landline phone, which was a cordless phone, the cop says he thought that Isaiah had a gun to his head, and so he shot him 10 times. Y'all remember that story? Now, I need somebody to make that make sense. He shot that man 10 times because he thought the man had a gun to his own head. So you try to save him by shooting him yourself. This is all crazy, but that's the lie he told. Okay, that's the lie he told. And I told you all back then that I think the reason that he did that, because you literally just gave this man a ride home because his car was broken down on the side of the road. I think that maybe something happened in that car on the side of that road. I think maybe something inappropriate happened and that man may have thought, when Isaiah called the police, maybe he thought that the man was going to say something about what happened in that car. That's just my assessment. And that's just my, I'm a legend. That's just my opinion. But I think it was something to that effect. Because why would you shoot this man 10 times when and here's the thing, the man was still on the phone with dispatch. That's why he had the phone in his hand. He was still on the phone with the 911 dispatcher. Kajima said, thank you, Queen. That is exactly what I think happened. Yes, exactly. Because how does that even make sense? Low down and clearly nefarious. Now, goes on to say that they had to be restrained for his own safety. They say in this case, undoubtedly Manny was in the wrong, but at the end of the day, his mother lost a child and his sister lost a brother, and that human life is a precious thing. Here's the thing. The man was having a mental episode. And they say, and so we obviously... it's a weight we bear as police officers when you go out and we step into the stuff every single night. But it's the worst possible outcome. Now, Rankin testified that the whole incident was tragic. I don't think any of us sitting here thought that he was going to die that night, but it happened. On a personal level, it completely changed my life. Here's the thing. How did you not think it was going to happen? How did you not think it was going to happen? Y'all bearing down on this man's neck and everything. And I do believe that Manning, his incident happened prior to George Floyd's, if I'm not mistaken, because this happened in 2020. Hold on. George happened in May of 2020. Manning's was in March of 2020. Yeah, his case was first. Didn't get as much media attention because it wasn't televised and everybody didn't just see it. So we had to wait for the footage to come out. So anyway, it goes on to say Burbanks' attorneys did not say why he declined to take the stand. Now, the jury was comprised of 7 men and 5 women. 2 people appeared to be black. 1 person self-identified as multiracial, and the other 9 jurors appeared to be white. The professions represented on the jury included a business executive, a minister, an accountant, a doctor, a private school teacher, an electrician, a pharmacy technician, and someone who works in aerospace. As Judge Brian Kushkoff finished reading the verdict, Ellis's family members and supporters quickly filed out of the courtroom while holding back tears. The officers celebrated with their attorneys. They hugged family and friends in the gallery. In a brief statement following his office's first ever trial of local police, State Attorney General Bob Ferguson thanked the jury and said his heart went out to the Ellis family. After speaking with the jurors, the officers' attorneys told reporters that the jury was conflicted about expert medical testimony on Ellis's death, the cause of his death, and that they had doubts about the credibility of 3 civilian eyewitnesses who disputed the officers' accounts of the incident. Okay, so y'all didn't believe 3 witnesses. Now I could see if you had doubts at the credibility of 1, maybe even 2, but all 3 of them. But you believe those 3 officers. You should have had doubts about them because we already know how some of these officers get down out here in these streets. That's just my opinion. And I'm not saying all, but clearly some. So it's just a huge, huge sigh of relief, says Collins's attorney, Casey Arbins. What they've been through, not only the fact that they've been falsely charged with a horrible crime, but the way they were portrayed, some of the things that have been said by people in government, newspapers and such. It's just such a sigh of relief to know that the 12 people who actually heard the evidence said they are not guilty. And they're not guilty of anything. So they're just thrilled. They just wanted to go home and hug their families. Meanwhile, Ellis's family and supporters gathered for a vigil beside a multicolored mural of his face in Tacoma's Hilltop, and it reads, "Justice for Manny." They say he had behaved in the most positive way a human being can by saying, "I can't breathe, sir." And even with all of that, he doesn't achieve justice in this moment. This is what the family said. Their attorney's name is James Bible. That's what their attorney said. Now, Bible said his heart was broken for the Ellis family that he's gotten to know so very well because they worked so very hard for some form of justice. They trusted and believed the system, that they would get justice in the court. But shortly thereafter, the crowd began marching through the streets and briefly shut down an intersection. Ellis's sister, Monet Carter Mixon, pulled construction materials into the street herself, imploring motorists to either join the protest or turn around. They're guilty, she told the crowd. And so anyway, it's a long article. I'm not going to get into all of it, but it's very sad. My condolences again to the family and the loved ones of Manny, because that's just all so sad, honey, at the end of the day. All a very sad story. It really is. Now let's talk about Sexy Red, because she needs to sit down somewhere. Why are we sitting here, beloveds, and letting Rolling Stone play in our faces like this? Rolling Stone accused of mocking black music after Sexy Red Ski Wee is named Best Rap Song of 2023. Yes, they are mocking us. They need to sit down somewhere, honey. Now, St. Louis rapper Sexy Red has been making a lot of noise in the media over her X-rated yet playful song lyrics and music videos. She's gone viral online several times in the past, including this summer after performing her song Pound Town from the crowd at the BET Awards, with respected gospel legend Bobby Jones sitting nearby. Imagine that. You're up there singing Pound Town with a whole gospel legend sitting on the front row. But her most recent claim to fame is rapping that song as well as Ski Wee, the latter of which was named the best rap song of 2023 by Rolling Stone magazine. Rolling Stone magazine, please let it rest. The outlet saluted Sexy Red's conversational delivery and almost whiny thrills that make her exciting flow feel casual on the track. Okay. Tay Keith's production is nostalgic for the simpler times of T-Mobile sidekicks and physical mixtapes with its sinister piano loop, spacious bass, and piercing hi-hats. All right, if you say so. Ski Wee was chosen as lead over songs from and featuring Drake, J. Cole. I just want y'all to pay attention to the bullshit. They are clearly making fun of us. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Really? I'm sorry. I can't. I just can't. Gunna, Ice Speak, Quavo, and Takeoff, and more, including Cardi B and Offset's Jealousy. This is all crazy. Fans on X were taken aback by the news that the top song was not picked for rap lyricism as opposed to memorable lines. Now, one person said, "I refuse to believe this is not satire," while another person wrote, "Let's be honest, the male rap game been slacking and coming out with some mid or MID. She came with a catchy song over Gunna's
over Gunners. Now, other remarks include, "Are you kidding? Cancel Rolling Stone right now." And the list is fraudulent. Probably the most played rap song of the year doesn't make it the best. So while most social media users seem to like Skiwi, I'm sorry, most, when they say most, who are they referring to? The people that have no sense and no taste, clearly. But anyway, many call the outlet trash, amongst other names, for the song's placement. Somebody said, "I don't even know what the song is about. I like it, I enjoy it, but best rap song of 2023?" And then somebody said, "I think they should rename the list. This should be most hype songs, most hype hip hop songs of 2023. The woman applauded the music selection by UK rapper Central C and Dave, but questioned how other artists such as Ice Spice made the list despite having yet to release an album." Okay, so is that who they're talking about when they say Ice Spice Quavo? Oh, you know what? Let me show you all this in case you all think I'm crazy, honey. I told you all they be having all these typos. Hold on, let me show you all this. So it was meant to say Ice Spice and Quavo and take off. Okay, now it all makes sense. Because I was like, Ice Spice Quavo, whose name is that? Can y'all see that foolishness? Can y'all see that? Hold on, let me see if I can enhance it. This is all nefarious. Y'all see it right there? Y'all see how they got it? It says Ice Spice Quavo. They didn't even spell her whole name out. So at the end of the day, honey, I don't listen to any of these folks except for J. Cole and Kendrick. But let me continue. Now, fans, okay, so the fans just went in about it, and I can't blame them. Now, they say Rolling Stone's song list of 2023 arrives months after the magazine's founder, Jan Wiener, was removed for his controversial remarks about Black women in an interview. Now, here's where it gets real. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, after an interview, he lost his seat on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame board of directors after the rock and roll legend stated that Black women and artists do not articulate as well as white male artists. Wiener also said that Black musicians like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, and Curtis Mayfield were not masters. Honey, the lies he's telling. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention because, honey, at the end of the day, has he lost his mind? Hold on. Let me just share the clip. Let me tell y'all something. See, that's the thing right there. This is how you know. When they talk about how people articulate and Black women, this is why I've told you all this a myriad of times. I'm going to say it again. This is why people like Sexy Red, a.k.a. Dusty Red, if you ask the queen, and Sukiyana are being put in front of us on a regular basis. Everywhere you look up, here they go. Now, I'm sorry if anybody here likes these two, but I call their music trash, and I call them hood rats. And don't get mad at me because they call themselves hood rats too. They have a whole song about it, so it is what it is. Trisha said, yes, he has lost his entire mind, okay? But let me share the screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Honey, Rolling Stone can clearly miss me with it. Pennywise said trash. One Who Cares says trashy. Okay, Leon says exactly. All right, Claudette says embarrassing. Y'all said Dusty Red and sit up there laughing. Yes, that's what I call her. I'm sorry. My son calls her that too. My son calls her that too. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about it.
Remove one of its founders, that would be Jan Wiener, from its board of directors after what he made some very, how shall we say, controversial comments about Black and female performers. Vlad Dutier is here to tell us what Wiener said and why he apologized for it. Vlad, good morning to you.
Good morning. This is unbelievable in 2023, but Jan Wiener told the New York Times that there aren't any important Black or female musicians who are well-spoken enough to be featured in his new book, a collection of interviews with those he considers giants of rock and roll. Jan Wiener's new book, The Masters, features interviews with a cast of all-white male rock legends, including Bob Dylan, Mick Jagger, and Bruce Springsteen. In a wide-ranging New York Times interview published Friday, Wiener was asked why no women were included in his list.
It's not that they're inarticulate, although go have a deep conversation with Grace Slick or Janice. Please be my guest. You know, Joni was not a philosopher of rock and roll. She didn't, in my mind, meet that test.
He spoke similarly about black artists.
Black artists, I mean, Stevie Wonder, incredibly, they're genius, right? These are genius artists. I mean, I suppose when you use a word as broad as the Masters, fault is using that word, but maybe Marvin Gaye. I could cut Curtis Mayfield, they just didn't articulate at that level.
During the 30-minute interview, Wenner did acknowledge he would face criticism, but didn't backtrack.
Just for public relations' sake, maybe I should have gone and found one black and one woman artist to include here that didn't measure up to that same historical standards, just to avert this kind of criticism.
On Saturday, Wenner apologized, writing, "I made comments that diminished the contributions, genius, and impact of black and women artists. I totally understand the inflammatory nature and badly chosen words and deeply apologize and accept the consequences." Wenner and Rolling Stone magazine, which he left in 2019, have always welcomed controversy, as he noted in our interview with him last year.
Did you want to be controversial? Because you had a lot of controversial things in your publication.
No,
Were you thinking that?
I didn't set out to be controversial. I mean, it just happens. And you discover quickly that, well, that's great. If you're in the news business, that's what you want.
The extent of this was absolutely shocking.
But Jem Aswad, the executive music editor for Variety, says these comments could tarnish Wenner's legacy.
He kind of doubled down. I just don't see how, even if you actually think those things, you can be sentient in 2023 and not realize what a horrible thing that is to say.
It's worth noting that Rolling Stone published its 500 greatest albums of all time a while back. 5 of the top 10 were by female or black artists, including Joni Mitchell's Blue and Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. So Janis Joplin's no longer around, Grace Slick is around, but so is Carole King, so is Joni Mitchell, so is Patti Smith,
Quincy Jones, Diana Ross, of course, Quincy Jones,
Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson.
We got lots of ideas, but
there's a lot of people. Now Rogers.
He needs to have several seats. First of all, he can't articulate his words correct. Did you hear the way he speaks? He needs to open his mouth a little bit wider because he clearly sounds like he's tongue-tied. I'm just saying, okay? And sitting up there talking about, then he wants to come out. First of all, pay attention. He doubled down and admitted that he would face criticism. But then you want to come out after you face said criticism that you knew you would likely face. You want to come back and say you apologize for diminishing the black artists. Honey, you did exactly what you wanted to do and you said exactly how you felt. Okay, at the end of the day, stand on it. All right, stand on it. Okay, don't try to backtrack and apologize. Nobody wants your apology, for one, because it's all fake. It's all fake. All right, so anyway, let me hurry up and get up out of here because the queen has things to do. All right, the queen has things to do. So let's talk about it. I'm going to give you all this story about Columbus Short. Columbus Short needs to sit down somewhere, for real, because he is hilarious to me. Now, let's not forget when he came out and said Diddy tried him. You all remember that? And I reported on it. Now he has a story to tell about R. Kelly. Okay, Andrea said tongue-tied with lies. Yes. Okay, Kim says he got some nerve. Exactly. Deronda said, "Be love Ed." Okay, it would behoove him to have several seats in the back of an empty stadium, no less. All right. Let me tell y'all something. Since I started selling my behoove t-shirts, why is everybody saying behoove? Even Wig 2. Wig 2 is now saying it. I never heard Wig 2 say it before, but let me continue. Now I want you all to check out this video. Columbus Short said it was women locked up at R. Kelly's house.
True studio story. Me and Jackie Long working on our album, our EP, Long Story Short, and Black House ENT, shout out. So we go to R. Kelly's studio at his house, big property. Me and Jackie start arguing. We get in a big argument. You know how band members, we're a group, but we was just arguing that day. But meanwhile, while we're arguing, I had no idea there was 13 bitches locked up in the main house. What? If I would have known, I would have grabbed the keys when Kels fell asleep, and I would have freed all them bitches. Yeah, I would have. Captain Save a Hope. Dun, 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 dun. That's me.
Columbus Short, please have several seats. Okay, now if you notice on that post, Jackie Long actually commented and said, "Yep, we sure did get in an argument over some bullshit," and then said if he had a peeped it, I guess he would let the women out too or something like that. But here's the thing: first of all, let me just cackle at the fact that their album was going to be called "Long Story Short." Columbus Short, Jackie Long. Please sit down, sir. And those 13 women locked up. So y'all didn't hear anything, Columbus, Jackie. Y'all didn't know nothing about people being locked up in R. Kelly's house. I find it all so interesting. Please don't tell on yourself. Don't tell on yourself. Andrea said, "Why didn't you call the cops?" Well, he said he didn't know. He said he didn't know, but I don't know if I believe you, Mr. Short. I don't know. I have questions. So you were in R. Kelly's house, and while you were there arguing, it was 13 women tied up, locked up, per se. Okay. How does he know such an exact number? Where did he get the number 13 from? Claudette said, "I find it suspicious." I do too. Okay, I do too. Del Monte Green Bean said, "Come on, not cackle." Okay. Daryl LaField said, "Rob Lowe has a game show. There's a double standard." Oh, really? He has a game show. I want you all to pay attention. Now, they done fired Jonathan Majors for every little old thing that he was working on. Okay, from everything he was working on, where they saw the footage, whether he got found guilty or not, they know the truth. But they fired him. You mean to tell me Rob Lowe, who was accused back in, was it the 80s or the 90s? Let me look it up, because I read about this some years ago. Now, Rob Lowe has a game show? Let me dig into this real quick. I know this better be a whole lie. Has a trivia show. Rob Lowe's new game show, The Floor, gets premiered. This article came out November the 6th of 2023. Well, I find that interesting, because let's go back in time for a brief moment to talk about what Rob did. Let's go back in time. This is all a hot mess. Rob maintained that he did not know that the girl was underage and settled the case outside of court. Okay? This is all so crazy. Hold on. Now, what year did this happen? And then he cracked a joke about it, according to this article. In 2016, the jokes about Rob Lowe's, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yeah, he made jokes about it. I thought I misread it. It says the jokes about Rob Lowe's 16-year-old SEX partner at his Comedy Central roast were kind of gross. Oh, so they were roasting him. So he wasn't the one telling the jokes. But yes, this was a 16-year-old girl. This happened back in the day in 1988. Rob Lowe filmed himself. Why do all of these celebrities like to film themselves? Why do all of these celebrities, so many of them, like to film themselves? See, that's how he got caught. He filmed himself with a 16-year-old that he claimed that he didn't know was 16. Had a whole SEX tape. Sure did. This was back in 1988. Yeah, I read about this about a decade ago. But anyway, he's still getting hired. Okay, has a whole game show, but they want to fire Jonathan Majors. Yes, absolutely, it's a double standard. Okay, please pay attention. Now, before I give you all your lifelines, beloveds, I want you all to pay attention, because I forgot to show you all this when I was talking about Dusty Red. Please pay attention. This is all so ghetto. This is all so ghetto.
Ho, 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 ho. Have a seat.
I'm not sitting on your motherfucking lap.
Okie doke. Tell Santa what you want for Christmas.
All I want for Christmas is these hoes to get their edges right like mine and get some miracle drops by Kaleidoscope. Just go to CVS. That's all I want for Christmas.
Oh, edges, like the little circles.
Yeah.
Can I get some for the missus?
I mean, if you want her to be a bad bitch like me.
Tell them hoes they need to get their edges back. Tell them whether they got a wig on or not. Tell them they need to use the Miracle Drops and get it from CVS. Tell them.
Yeah, if you're trying to be a bad bitch, have slick edges like this, use motherfucking Miracle Drops by my girl.
Period. For results like this, make sure to get your Miracle Drops from a CVS near you.
First of all, I don't shop at CVS. That's for number one. But for number two, imagine promoting something for natural hair while you have on a wig. Make it all make sense. Make it all make sense. Imagine promoting something for natural hair while you have on a wig. I mean, I'm not saying it's only for natural hair, but she did specifically say baby hair, right? Your edges, right? Your edges and baby hair. And she pointed to her baby hair. That's natural hair. So you're out here promoting that while you're wearing a whole wig. Please make it all make sense. That's all I'm saying. All right. That is such a, Dorada said exactly, Queen. Okay. Baby boy said, amen. All right. I'm sorry. This is all crazy. Curly Girl said the skank of it all. Miss Hotel said this was from the pits of hell ghetto. I mean, at the end of the Daddy Joe said wig made it. Okay. I mean, yes, Claudette, it is an oxymoron, honey. I'm sorry. They keep putting this girl in front of us, and she walked out there so stank, and those shoes look like they were about to fall off her feet, honey. They look like they were heavy. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Talib said low rent quality. Nelson G said baby hair from a lace front. Okay. This is all nefarious. So let me tell y'all something. At the end of the day, I'm about to be out of here. Let me give y'all your lifelines for the day, beloved. Okay, here's your lifelines. So they had a recall, and make sure that you're stocking up on your water, okay, and your non-perishable food items. So don't say I didn't warn you several times. All right? Don't say I didn't warn you. Now, here it is. This came out a few days ago. Coca-Cola recalled 2,000 Diet Cokes, 2,000 Diet Coke, Sprite, Fanta cases due to possible contamination. Contaminated with what? See, I'm glad I don't drink sodas. I don't drink sodas. Anything. And I want you all to think about this. The next time you lift a can of Coke, Pepsi, or any of these nefarious carbonated products to your lips, I want you to think about this. Do you know the only reason I ever buy a Coke? It's only one reason. It's only one reason that I ever buy a Coke. And that is to clean my battery. Clean the car battery. Now, I want you to think about it. If you can take a Coke and pour it on your car battery to remove the acid, why would you drink that again? I'm sorry. I'm going to need y'all to make it make sense. Why would you need to drink that? Why would you do it? Okay. They found contaminants in wine and beer too, says Honey. Woo, this is all nefarious. I don't drink wine or beer either. Thank God. All I drink is water and herbal teas. We love ads. So Coca-Cola is recalling close to 2,000 cases of Diet Coke, Sprite, and Fanta Orange, total in 3 states due to possible foreign material. They don't say what it is. Now, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the recall began on November the 6th and was initiated by United Packers LLC, based in Mobile, Alabama. The affected cases of soda, all 12 packs of 12-ounce aluminum cans, were distributed in Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida. Now, this is according to the agency. The recall comprises of 1,557 cases of Sprite, 417 cases of Diet Coke, and 14 cases of Fanta Orange, according to the FDA. NBC News has reported that Coca-Cola said the recall is complete and there are no more affected cans in the market. Okay, but here's the thing. Y'all still need to stop drinking them. Okay, I'm sorry. When something like this happens, you might as well just leave it alone. And you shouldn't be drinking sodas anyway. All right? You shouldn't be drinking these things, especially those of you who follow my spiritual channel. You already know what I told you all about toxicity and all of that stuff. Now, I know we can't avoid every little thing because there's so many toxins or chemicals and all that stuff in our foods these days, but you don't have to drink sodas and eat Doritos and all those things, because you know Doritos have pork in it, in case you didn't know. Now, I know some of you are eating chitlins. I know some of y'all eat chitlins. Some of y'all are going to have chitlin stew for Christmas. Some of y'all are going to have hash for Christmas. Some of y'all are going to have pig feet for Christmas. And I absolutely cannot. Okay? But for those of you who don't eat pork in 2023, at least you don't intend to, they put pork in Doritos. You can thank me later. Okay? You can thank me later. And I find it all so nefarious at the end of the day. So hold on. I think I have one more lifeline, if I'm not mistaken. One more lifeline. Dog food. Dog food. Here we go. Dog food recall came out the 22nd of December as dire warning issued to pet owners. Now I want y'all to pay attention. Because here's what they say. Dog and cat owners have been warned after a food company recalled some of its products marketed for kittens and puppies. Pet food company Blue Ridge Beef issued a recall, being alerted by food inspectors and incidents of salmonella and listeria. The company, which distributes food to 33 states across the U.S., said the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services found the two diseases during inspections of the kitten grind, kitten mix, and puppy fever products. Inspectors tested one of each of the products to find the harmful bacteria, which can cause both humans and pets to become ill. Blue Ridge said that out of an abundance of caution, the firm is recalling all lots with the use by dates between 11/24 N/24 11/24 to N/24 12/24. The numbers can be found on silver tabs at the end of the tubes, according to the company, and were distributed between November the 14th through December the 20th. Okay, so anybody with a dog or a cat, anyone with a dog or a cat, that's a lifeline. Nasha said nobody's safe. Okay, Miss Hotel said trying to off the pets too, child. This is all so crazy. So anyway, I'm out of here. I'm out like a light. Everyone, please get the likes up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget also, if you have not been following my spiritual channel, Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye, well, you can go ahead and join that. I mean, if you want your spiritual vitamins. And for those of you who are members, I always appreciate you guys. Moderators, please put the link to the membership in the chat for anyone who wants to join that channel. Okay. Now, with that all being said, I did tell you guys that I'm going to be back going live on the True Crime channel. And I haven't gotten around to it. The Queen stays busy. I be so booked and busy. You all just don't know. Okay, you all just don't know. I have 1,000 things going on all at once. Pay attention. But so anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to be live back on that channel and the paranormal channel soon. Okay, so stay tuned for that, beloveds. All right. I hope everyone that celebrates. Miss Hotel said the masterclass was awesome, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Juju said, love you all to life. And we love you right, Black, beloved. Now, with that all being said, I hope those of you, Andrea said, great news, Queen. Thank you. So for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to y'all. I mean, it just pains me to say it, but at the end of the day, for those of you who celebrate, all right, at the end of the day, I hope you all enjoy your holidays, your time off from work with family and friends and all of that. Okay. I was thinking, was there anything else I wanted to remind you all? Oh, so when I go live next week, I'll be on the main channel, the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, then please do. This is the backup channel. Okay, this is the backup channel for when the Queen gets in trouble. I can still go live, honey. Please pay attention. They got me. They took them a while, but they finally got me on one of them, honey. Okay, Queen, we really appreciate you. You have done 1,000 lives in the last 2 weeks. Not 1,000. Okay, you know, it's funny because Mr. Hotel was telling me that the other day. He's like, Queen, you've been going live multiple times a day for days straight, for 3 weeks straight. Yes, all right. So anyway, with that all being said, thank you, beloveds. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got